Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm AmusedJester and I am Junior. And today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars The Black Series from the Old Republic Darth Malgus. This is from the video games, so I'm not very familiar with the lore of this character. However, when it comes to Black Series, I think I've pretty much said before that my focus is on the Sith and the Jedi and maybe a few more troop building. So let me go ahead and open this up and let's see what's going on with this figure. So here he is out of packaging. Let's take a look at this lightsaber really quickly. So a unique design. Oh, look at that. The original over here kind of reminds me of Darth Vader's lightsaber. This one's kind of interesting. Detachable, right? It's kind of hard to pull off. I'm assuming it detaches, but it's so hard to pull off that I'm just gonna stop at that point. And here is the figure himself. So while we're doing the articulation of the figure, oh, this thing is attached here and here. That's kind of interesting. While we're doing the articulation range of this figure, I do want to say, like, as I said before, I'm not familiar with, oh, that's kind of interesting, with this character, and I bought him. Why is this far down like that? Is it, okay, good, it is. So I'm not familiar with this character, but he is a Sith, and what I'm noticing with Hasbro and their Siths specifically is they're doing these, they're putting them in a higher price bracket. Like this is $32, I believe. Now granted, this is taller than the usual Black Series. If I have one in hand, hold on a second. Here's one right here. So as you can see, yeah, he's much taller in hand. But the thing of it is, even the previous ones that I've recently purchased, because they were Sith or something like that, it was always a higher price bracket by $5 or so, which I feel like is ridiculous to do so. So I purchased this kind of begrudgingly because I want Siths in my collection. So it's not like I'm excited to receive this. Having said that, it is much taller than the usual Black Series. He is standing around pretty much exactly at 7 inches. And then, so, and then holding it, it's the design of the figure is imposing. It's more imposing than the Darth Malak that I recently bought, which is somewhere in my bin. It is almost reminiscent of the Darth Vader look. I don't like the fact that it's glued in here. Articulation, yeah, we're messing around with articulation. So the head barely looks up, a little bit down, but this color is just in the way. This thing was out of alignment before, but then I realized that it is one of those things where it's in its own rotating cup behind the shoulders, so you can adjust it properly, which is good. So that kind of tells me this is actually a newer figure, so it's not a re-released figure like the Darth Revan or the Darth Malak. So the shoulders can go that high. It's got a single joint which goes past 90, and I really do admire the fact that they completely disguise the joint. So if you're like, you really can't tell there's a joint there, and I believe that's a very, very successful mix between articulation and design. Like I said, you really can't tell. Like If you look closely, then you can see where the cut is, but other than that, come on a shelf you won't see that. Rotation at the wrist and an in and out on that side, and this one is an up and downs, which is what I'm looking for. Also, I forgot to mention that you do have swivel on the elbow. I do like also, see, you almost can't tell too on the back side. Obviously on the back side you see it disappears in the creases and everything, and you almost can't see it, this one, because it's really well done is what I'm trying to say. And then it's got a bowl cut in the rib cage. It gives you the twist, nothing really going, it's better going backwards, nothing forwards. But then you kind of mix that up with the waist articulation, so it gives you a little bit, I suppose. Interesting design here. No, I don't feel any drop down on the hips, but it still gives you 90, so that's pretty good. 90 outward, slightly in the back. You can push it a little bit more like so, but kind of warps it. Single joint on the knees, that gives you a 90 rotation, and ankle joint going down that far, going up that far with a ankle rocker. This is actually a pretty good figure. So here's a close-up of the head. I mean, wow. You have the Sith eyes, and then you have this shadowing around the eyes has a translucent quality. You have the vein work over here. This is very, very minimalistic in terms of paint application, but well done on the way it's done. And is that really some sort of scarring, painted scarring on the cheeks? That's actually pretty good. Then you have the mouth beating apparatus over here. It's kind of like the fact that there's scarring here in the middle part as well. Scarring the chest plate. This is just bare plastic. You can immediately tell the transition between good and just bare minimum. Really good work here on the gauntlets. Right? I mean, if you look like this, you can really tell that, like, okay, there's paint, then nothing paint. This is bugging me though. The fact that it's just that doesn't usually bother me, but it isn't right now. There, it's a little bit better. More detail on this side. Nothing here. Nothing here, except it's relying a lot on the sculptural detail. And the back, it's really good. Yes, I don't like the fact that it's actually glued onto this part. It does, like when you do like that, it does look kind of good, but and then the cape feels like it needs to be wider instead of this narrow cape. Yeah, this is gonna be a really good addition to my Sith Lords. So in terms of value, I will give it a value of 10. It's not going to be 12. $34 for a Black Series is ridiculous, and with only one accessory. If you were to look back at one of my recent reviews, the G.I. Joe Classified Heavy Duty, the amount of stuff that came with it just basically catapulted it to my top rating for a toy, which is 20, because it's got so much stuff for the amount of money you're putting in. You're getting so much that you can play with, accessories and options and everything. It's as far as I can tell, the perfect toy. And that's not even a figure that I'm looking forward to. That's more of a tier 3 figure for me. I don't know who Heavy Duty is. He's not like he's General Hawks, not like Flint, Duke. For me, for the G.I. Joe Classifieds, tier 1 would be those figures, Scarlet, Destro. Tier B would be Sergeant Slaughter, Big Lob, Jinx, and all that stuff. And then Heavy Duty would be tier 3 because I don't even know who that person is. I apologize for segueing to the G.I. Joe Classified. I'm only saying that for a tier 3 figure of Heavy Duty, to be able to reach a value of 20, the top value of a toy, just tells you how much I was impressed by the value that I got from that toy. This one, which is $32.99, $2 less than Heavy Duty, is one lightsaber. Now, what else can you bring with a Sith Lord like this? At least an unlit lightsaber. If you're gonna upcharge us for something like that, and you don't have any accessories, and you're relying on the fact of how the character looks, at least give us an unlit lightsaber and a lit lightsaber. And that doesn't mean that you should be raising any more prices. It's already high enough as it is. But I did know what I was buying, and I went ahead and paid for it. And like I said, begrudgingly. So I'm not going to put it in the lower than 10. I feel like this is a value of 10. I got exactly what I paid for. I knew what I was going in. I knew it was a high price. Even though I didn't like paying it, it's good enough. And the fact that it's taller than regular Star Wars. I don't know if that's accurate in terms of how they relate to each other, but I do like that. So I'll give him that much. So that's it for my review of Darth Malgus from the Star Wars Black Series. Base price 10 equaling to $32.99, I believe. Value of 10. You're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to be ecstatic. You just get what you paid for. And it's a good representation of Sith Lord Darth Malgus in your collection. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on my next review. Bye.